So I bet you're wondering, why are you hitting your hand with a butter knife? Well, because I think it's more fun to create your own samples, design your own sound, than go out and buy the synthesizer. If you were to go and get a Moog synthesizer, the 37 key one, at a popular retailer, it would run you $1,899 before tax. But I picked up this butter knife from my dishwasher, and playing around, it makes a cool sound. And I thought, man, I have to sample that. I have to use that in a production. So I did when I was covering BTS's Butter. And so it's kind of a dad joke. I used a butter knife in the Butter song. But I can't wait to show you how I got from one sound, the source, to the finished product. How did I go from this? Okay, to this. Oh man, I am going to show you all the steps in my plug-in chain, all the tweaks that transformed a butter knife into an 808 or a Moog bass. So stick around, it's gonna be fun. All right. Step one in sampling a butter knife was miking. I used two mics, the MXL993, it's a pencil condenser, and the Shure Ever Faithful SM57. I had them placed parallel to each other, and I just wanted a broader pickup pattern combining the two so that as the butter knife flies past these, it would not pass in and out too quickly of the pickup pattern, the polar pattern. You could also just use a condenser alone and be far enough back from the mic that you're not passing in and out of a hot zone of the mic. You could also use something like this. It's a Zoom H1N. It's got X and Y mics built into it, and if you wanted to go sampling out and about without your audio interface and without your laptop or whatever set of mics, this guy is about $99. My MXL mics, the one here and here, that was refurbished. I don't remember what I paid, but one of them only halfway works. But that's my bad. Step two, the first plugin on my effects chain is the noise gate. I needed to cancel out the background hum, the room noise. All I wanted was the instrument, not the surrounding air conditioning or wind. You'll notice later in the video when I have all the effects turned on, the gate is so important because the room just gets all distorted when everything's amplified and saturated. Step three, I actually played it in context with the song. So I had it running. It made more sense to me. It felt more like a performance and less like a monolithic drum machine. I was feeling the groove as I played the sample. I had already created the whole arrangement, and if you're interested, go check out the video where I perform it. All the percussion is actually objects from my kitchen. After recording a bunch of takes of me hitting this in context while listening to the rest of the song arrangement and my earphones, I went and took the best takes, and I added some compression. It's the vintage FET with the preset called Rock Snare Bottom. That smooths out the transient and pulls up the ringing sound of the butter knife. It's quite quiet. Not super fancy yet, but we'll get there. I had to ask myself, what note do I want this bass tone to be? And I knew that in my arrangement, I wanted it to be a D flat in the second octave near the bottom of the piano. And I did some Googling. The fundamental frequency of the D flat in the second octave is 69.3. The next thing I Googled, because I knew I need more than a fundamental, it would just sound like a sine. I Googled, what are the frequencies of the harmonic series? If your fundamental is 100 hertz, for easy math, your second, third, and fourth harmonic would be 200, 300, and 400 hertz. Now I know what to plug into my EQ. Just using stock plugins, I'm starting to create some spike EQs. And I just copied and pasted and just made some adjustments to each one. Of course, the first one is not a spike EQ pulling out those harmonic resonances. It's in fact just a low pass and a high pass plus a big shelf in the low mids. So I'll let you hear that. On. Okay. I wanted this generic shape to begin sculpting out of. So let's close that and look at the next EQ one at a time. I also had created a spreadsheet so I knew what frequencies. 69.3, 138.6, 107.9, and 277.2. I'll begin turning them on successively so you start to hear the D flat start to poke out. Okay? All right. Yeah. I didn't want the fifth, so I pulled out that right there. Turn on the next one. Yeah. And the last one looks like that. Step 6. After the EQs, I used a sub bass, that's this guy, to add a little bit more woof to the lower end. A sub bass exciter can essentially add an undertone that didn't exist before. It's great for acoustic guitar if you're playing solo. This pedal, if you can see it, by Boss, the OC5, does the same thing. It almost adds a sine wave in a lower octave based on a specific frequency range that you can control the parameters you can see here and here. So I'm going to turn on my sub pressure to the looping sample. Okay, without, with. Okay, now we're moving some air. All right, step 7. Now we want to add saturation. I used the Chroma Glow plugin, which is new to Logic Pro in version 11. Okay. I'm going to turn it on and then explain my settings. Chroma Glow, it's an analog saturation simulator, similar to the Decapitator by Sound Toys. That's another plugin that will do that, give you analog saturation. I'll show you my settings here. I had a high cut, so I didn't want frequencies above 650. That's actually a post-amp, post-cab EQ. And then I could have used this if I wanted more woof. This is the bypass, and I could mix in. There's a lot of options, just season to taste. I'm going to show you why it's so important to have a noise gate at the very beginning. If all your EQ and all your stuff is turned on, but your noise gate is turned off, you're going to hear the Chroma Glow is saturating the space between the notes. And I don't want that. It just doesn't sound as good to me. Step 9. Now, if you wanted more note length, you could play with the enveloper, and if you wanted a shorter note, you could even use a noise gate at the end of the chain. Doesn't sound super great, but it is a creative use of a noise gate. So here's the envelope. This is a stock plugin. It's got a very clean, long release. I didn't use that setting in my final arrangement, but you get the picture. A noise gate at the end of the chain can also shorten the note. So without, and we're going to shorten it with a gate. except it has just a little bit of a pop at the beginning. So I don't love that, but we experimented and we tried different things. Finally, step 10, you're going to have to transpose your sample into whatever bass line you want. So you'll see here, gonna zoom in, the second and the third audio region here have a little +2 and a +4. That's achieved with the Option up arrow key to raise it a half step or to lower it a half step. Okay. Finally, I'm going to unmute the drums and I'm going to unmute the keyboard. All right. That, my friends, is just one piece of the puzzle. I hope you enjoyed my effects chain breakdown for a butter knife Moog 808 bass. And if you would like to go listen to my arrangement of BTS's Butter with kitchen percussion samples, head over there. The link is in the description. If you want more music production from Cozy Tree, please hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon so you don't miss a new video. Question time. Do you have a favorite sound that you would like to sample and use in a song? Comment below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.